Section 52. Moreover, Mahamati, I will now explain what characterizes the self-existence of the skandhas. By what characterizes the self-existence of the skandhas, I mean the 5 skandhas. And as to which 5, I mean form, sensation, perception, memory, and consciousness, 4 of which are formless, namely sensation, perception, memory, and consciousness. Mahamati, by form, I am referring to the different characteristics of each of the 4 elements and their elemental forms. But it is not the case, Mahamati, that the formless ones are actually 4 in number. They are like the sky. Just as the sky is devoid of numbers or the characteristics of numbers, it is only due to projection that we speak of one sky. Mahamati, the skandhas are likewise devoid of numbers or the characteristics of numbers, and thus devoid of existence or non-existence, and devoid of the 4 possibilities. Foolish beings talk in terms of numbers, not the wise. Mahamati, to the wise, forms are illusory. They are designations that are neither separate nor not separate, just as a dream or a shadow is neither separate nor not separate from a person's body. Mahamati, the realm of Buddha knowledge appears the same as the projections of the skandhas. This is what is meant by what characterizes the self-existence of the skandhas. You should get rid of projections, and once you do, proclaim the teaching of detachment, and in every Buddha land put an end to the views of other schools. For once you proclaim detachment, Mahamati, you will be freed from the view of no self among dharmas, and you will reach the unshakable stage. And once you reach the unshakable stage, you will gain a mastery of countless samadhis and projection bodies. And as you become fully versed in the samadhi of the illusory, you will use your higher powers, insights, and masteries to help and protect all beings. For just as the earth supports everything that lives, so too bodhisattvas aid beings everywhere. Section 53. Moreover, Mahamati, according to followers of other paths, there are 4 kinds of nirvana. And what are the 4? They include the nirvana in which the self-existence of what exists does not exist, the nirvana in which the existence of characteristics does not exist, the nirvana in which the awareness of one's own characteristics and self-existence does not exist, and the nirvana in which the continuity of the individual and shared characteristics of the skandhas ends. These are what is meant by the 4 kinds of nirvana taught by followers of other paths. They are not what I teach. What I teach, Mahamati, is that nirvana is the cessation of the consciousness that projects. Mahamati asked the Buddha, but does the Bhagavan not put forward 8 forms of consciousness? The Buddha answered, yes, I do. Mahamati asked again, if so, then why does the Bhagavan speak of getting free from conceptual consciousness and not the 7th form of consciousness? The Buddha replied, because, Mahamati, it is the cause and the supporting condition whereby the 7th form of consciousness does not arise, and it is the division and attachment of conceptual consciousness regarding external realms that produces the habit energy that nourishes repository consciousness. And it is the will, together with its attachment to a self and what belongs to a self, and its reflection on causes and conditions, that gives rise to the characteristics of an indestructible body. And it is attachment to an external world that is a perception of one's own mind, that is the cause and supporting condition of the repository consciousness. Thus, this system of consciousness arises through mutual causation. It is like the ocean and its waves, which rise or cease as the wind of externality that is a perception of one's own mind blows. Thus, when conceptual consciousness ceases, the 7th form of consciousness also ceases. The Buddha then repeated the meaning of this in verse.
Mine isn't a nirvana that exists, a created one or one with attributes. The consciousness that projects what we know, the cessation of this is my nirvana. This is the cause and supporting condition, whereby thoughts create the body. On this is what the mind is based. On this is what consciousness depends. When the great river quits flowing, waves no longer stir. When conceptual consciousness ceases, the other forms don't rise.